Is that photo? No. It's recording though.
Okay, welcome ladies and gentlemen and the Torridon boys here to Off Key podcast number 2, and I'm going to kick things off with some stories about a shed party we had last night.
You're not going to introduce us? Not just you in the podcast, mate.
No, I'm not going to introduce you, it is me. We have Kenny Lyall and Paul Elliott with us today. Pearl. Fast becoming steady mainstays of the podcast. So back to the shed party last night. I'm conscious of not calling it Shed Fest to steal Michael's thunder, but it was a better party, just purely because the crap was better.
Was he there?
He was, aye. But Differs wasn't there.
That's why it was good.
So the party was all about last night Iron Football Club and having a wee get together. We have a league playoff this Tuesday. It's not really a playoff, it's just the last game of the season, and we're level on points with ICM and we're 1 goal ahead, so it's going to be basically a shootout between the two games. So we play Ferrybatchy, they play the Innis, who are good pals of ours, so we're hoping they can up their game and sort it out for us.
As long as you stay off the park.
I'll be off the park,
Give
yes.
us half a chance.
That was another thing I was going to talk about, which we'll get back to later, but yeah, I'll be off the park. So the party last night was out on the croft, myself and Jimmy, James Irvin, the Hat. He was head chef, I was head gopher, really, normal. And we had, from the Kilbirnie croft, lamb, pork and burgers, and plenty of it, and we had it on the spit as well. Spit roast, you know. And we had a wee bit of live music as well, a bit of crack and plenty of refreshments.
Happy days.
So getting round to the point that all the crack was the stories this morning about how everybody got home. So young Paul Beaton, you'll know very well.
The Silver Surfer, right?
Aye, very recently crowned Scottish rally champion himself and Ewan Thorburn. I'll show you a photo later, but Paul had these shades with him, and he kept going up to people saying that he was CID because they couldn't see his eyes.
Was he smashed?
Yeah, he was actually. Anyway, he must have slept on every hay bale that we had, barring maybe 1 or 2, and got home, or was carried into the taxi. I was one of the carriers, and was safely taken home. But we found his CID shades this morning with one leg normal and one facing the moon. I thought I've got a photo of me wearing them.
And how was he when he got home?
There you go, look.
You have to show it into the camera.
Well, I sent that to the boys this morning saying, good job, I'm prepared for the sun. And also on the way home we had Ross Nairn spewed very, very early on the way home, and the rest had to smell it the whole way to Inverness, which must have been a nightmare. And that set him back £100 fine, obviously, straight away.
To be fair, that's probably still better than smelling Grant's arse when you're in the van.
You're probably right. Also, Jimmy, head chef, had a bit too many of the old drammies last night, and thankfully made it out the door of the caravan, and there was a big dollop on the ground for the dogs to eat this morning. And Danny, the team manager, got Murchie, a taxi driver, on the way home.
How you doing? How Kenny? How's Tommy?
So Danny thought it was going to be a good idea to open the passenger door whilst Murchie was driving through the town centre, and lo and behold, he banged into another car. So given Murchie, how he used to be on the Shinty Park. I would imagine 20 years ago Danny would have got a kicking for that, but he survived it. And luckily there was no damage to either car. Totally bizarre.
You're just giving the game away here. There's somebody got a dent in their
If you've got a dent in your car, info@tordenlive.com will tell you who did it. And unfortunately, our dog Lackey had to be put inside because he was chasing the hens. He thought it was a great idea to chase the hens, and feathers flying everywhere. The last straw was
I didn't know you had hens.
Amy and Jimmy have hens. The last straw was chasing the cockerel, and the cockerel came all the way into the shed and just cowered up. And the best shout of the night was, "That's the only male chasing the cock round here." So fair play to young Lackey. And ICM, actually, I'm going to see their manager tonight at the function we're playing at, commonly known as Fat Rory. So we'll come on to him later on. So earlier on, I went to the music shop to collect to buy a capo, as old Donnie McSween had stole mine and left me with his 12-string capo, which won't even fit the fat end of the guitar. Never mind the neck.
You should let everybody know what his profession is, bearing in mind he's a thief.
Yes, Donnie McSween is a Free Church minister, and none other did he steal my capo last weekend. Actually, Donnie was one of my idols growing up. We used to go back and forth Lewis, and it was Donnie McSween tape after tape after tape. Aye.
Really?
And I can't believe he's just shattered my dream by stealing my capo.
He also stole our thunder.
He did, actually.
Went on at half time and stole a show.
Fair play to him. Oh, do you want to hear that again? Okay, Kenny, I'm going on again. He went on and played 2 songs again. Did you see that?
I did see that, actually. I was eating a bacon roll.
So it got me thinking, actually, down at the music shop. I'm always buy local, as my thoughts, but certainly a lot of folk buy stuff online, and I'm happy to admit I've bought music stuff online, but I always try and go to the local music store, which is the music shop in Inverness here, and I always remember when it was a music station. What was the name of the fella at the music station again? Anyway, he said to me, "Look, if you see this online, if you see anything online, come in and tell us, and we'll match the price."
But he did it with me as well, actually. Yeah, fair play to him.
Absolutely. So every penny that I'm going to buy music stuff will go as local as I can, and I think it's very important.
You're a good girl.
But not only that, you know, if you get something like that guitar I've got, if you have a problem with it, you can actually walk back into the store, and you know the guys will have a look at it there. You buy it online, where are you going to send it? You can send it away.
I think as well you get a really, really good, a far more professional for a start. You know that you get, rather than just buying something off of reviews online. Like I took my girlfriend into Southside Music in Glasgow, and it is by all means just a jumble sale.
Yeah.
But I was led to believe this is the place to be. You know, he's got an amazing guitar collection. So I took her in there, and just having that guy there, and the amount that he knows about guitars, it was worth, even if it is going to be an extra 50 quid, which it wasn't.
Aye.
It's worth that.
Yeah, definitely.
Just to get his knowledge.
Yeah.
Rather than just going online and you can't hear it the same or anything like that.
You don't know what you're buying.
No. So it's better off actually speaking to these guys, and I do the same. In Glasgow, I go into Drummers Only in Glasgow.
What do you go there for, like?
Sounds awful.
I haven't even finished my story. Nah, they're great in there as well. Like plenty of knowledge and everything, and do anything to help you as well.
Definitely, the customer service. I mean, as you say, you got to touch, feel, look, and see the product.
You got to touch and feel plenty, don't you?
Nasty. But not only that, your money stays local, so these guys are going to come round and buy off you afterwards.
Mm.
That's what it's all about.
Imagine how much we complain if we didn't have that. You know.
Aye.
It's one of those things. Yeah, you can get stuff cheaper online, but you know, keep doing that, lose the music shop, and then what? Where's our closest music shop after that?
Exactly.
Aberdeen?
Elgin, is it?
Elgin? Is there
Yeah.
one there?
Elgin, aye.
There's Ness Music as well.
Ah.
I haven't been in there right enough. It doesn't sell drum stuff, so there's no real need for me to go in there. But it would certainly be a hassle for drummers for a start, just for getting things like sticks and skins and all
Exactly,
that.
aye.
Need the music shop.
I've never bought a set of strings online. I always go in and spend a long time talking to Darren. I've known Darren since I started playing guitar nearly 20 years ago, and he's brilliant. And he, exactly like you say, he's got that personal touch and experience as well that you don't get online.
Personal
Yeah.
touch.
You certainly don't get that online.
There's no much that man doesn't know about a guitar. Absolutely.
He's a wealth of knowledge. Like you can't lose that sort of thing.
There's Josh in there as well. So.
Aye, Josh's in there, like
Ah, well, but I
Andy,
candy.
Andy Davidson. I think is he still there? Drummer.
I haven't been in for a wee while, but
He was
he
in
certainly
there.
used to be in there.
Josh is great. He's a very clued up boy as well. The
Yeah.
band Lyall, very good boy. Like
Yeah, I did have a bad experience online buying strings, and always when you go online, you're driven by price. It's the cheapest. Where's the cheapest,
yeah,
right? So, I can't mind what the it was Martin Strings, I think it was advertised, but they came and opened it in the box, and it certainly wasn't Martin Strings that was inside. It wasn't even the paper packet that they come in. It was just blank. Open up the string, and there's like black burnt bits all over the strings. Like they've either been used or
That's
they've been
crazy.
pulled out of a fire or something. And that was it. From that moment on, it was down to the local music shop. So you learn by your errors, I suppose. And I wish I'd just gone local first. But aye,
some of the
be aware buying online.
some of the first guitar pedals I bought from the music shop, and they're still on my pedal board now. I remember Darren recommended them at the time, saying, "No, this pedal, this will do you years and years," and it has. 10, 15 years later, still on my board.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so looking ahead to next weekend, gentlemen, one of our favourite weekends of the year, Edinburgh Festival, down at Sturmash. What are we on? I think we're on the 10 PM slot, 10 till midnight, roughly. At Sturmash, one of the best venues we've played at. Certainly the best in Edinburgh, I would say. And
I think it's the best free music venue in Scotland.
bold statement as well.
I
I'd
don't
I don't know
back
one
that
to beat it. Like,
I don't think anything comes close to it.
No, agreed.
It's tremendous, and bands that are playing the same night as us. Well, straight away it's going to be a sesh because Tweed are there. And three really good bands on after us. I think we must be doing 45 minutes each or something. Gyro Babies, Mickey Nines. We all know about them. They're tremendous.
looking forward to see them.
And a band I saw at the Edinburgh Festival last year at the Cowshed, a band called Supa and the Kryptonites.
Ah, yeah.
And
Were they not on Sturmash with us before?
I don't think
I
so.
recognise the name.
Don't think so. But they're really good as well. They've got almost every genre covered.
Aye.
Mainly ska, I would say, but the front man is a lunatic. And
Few of them about.
There's
a few of them about.
well, if there's women about, I think he might be getting his top off and all that.
Is that right?
nonsense,
Aye.
And he's got a rippling six pack just like myself.
Myself. Just hidden a wee bitty. All looking forward to that. And a wee night out in Edinburgh to go in, and then Saturday we're up the road to Thunder in the Glens on the Wincanal stage, which is a outside stage in the car park. I think it's 8:30 till 10. It's our slot again. Always last 2-3 years has been absolutely superb.
It's two of my favourite gigs in the year.
Aye,
Look forward to that every year.
yeah, it's a great weekend. So maybe need to try and find yourselves a driver in Aviemore to drive home afterwards.
Well, I have to say that I'm drinking water today because I'm rough. Alright.
Oh, oh, you are you?
Yes.
Where were you last night, Mr. Lyall?
I was in Alison Arms in Glasgow.
Did you see Big Joe?
Sorry?
Did you see Big Joe?
I did actually. Yeah.
No way!
Yeah, swear to God, I was speaking to Joe from the Battersea Boys. So I was speaking to him last night, and then we went to Linen. It's open till 2, so that's why we went there. And you always get a cracker of a story when you go into the toilet there.
Oh.
There's some absolute beauts at that time of the night. So, I'd love to tell the story, but unfortunately, maybe a wee bit too.
Too graphic, is it? Too explicit?
Yeah, involves a toilet, like, so I think, yeah, you can imagine.
Glasgow had been busy last night. There's Cure last night and Foo Fighters tonight.
And Pipe Band World Championships, I
Is it?
believe, as well. So
I don't know anyone who was at the Foo Fighters. Certainly not Colin Duff. I never saw that at all
No,
on social media.
No way, there's no way he's there. Like, no.
you've no need to go to the Foo Fighters because Callum Duff will post it live at Facebook the whole gig. It's
Cheers,
just,
Colin. Thanks for that,
60
pal.
quid,
Absolutely, aye. In a wee hotel. Very good. So I'm all looking forward to the weekend, and tonight is one of our last weddings. One of my pals, Gary Chivers. He's a bit nervous about the best man speech, and quite right, because it's Fergie, all Cali fans. So we're looking to get torn right into them tonight.
who's his best man?
Fergie, Scott Ferguson.
Don't you know him?
Oh, you'll know him tonight once I point him out.
Right.
Rip him over the mic. And who else is going to get it tonight is Big Malky McDonald. Like,
Is he going?
he's at the all day thing. So it's, what is it now? Oh, gee whiz, he's going to be smashed, and the wig will be flying everywhere.
The toupee of death. Like,
Someone's getting their ear burned off. He'll be blethering crap to everybody.
you have to mention that Malky is your business partner.
Business partner and pal, yes, absolutely. And he's going to get destroyed over the mic tonight, even if his wife is there, which she is. And Fat Rory, the old manager of ICM, our big rivals this year in the football front, he's going to be there as well. So he'll be leaving the place without a name also. So we'll look forward to getting torn into Malky and Fat Rory. And then I'm starting thinking about going on holiday very soon, lads. A wee trip to Crete, where I thought I've never been, but turns out I have been there. A wee week away with the boys to Malia.
That's why you didn't remember.
I thought Malia was the island, but never mind, it's just a wee town, a wee resort part of Crete. And the story I always tell from that trip was the day we got there, must have been about 5 in the morning we arrived. Normally you'd just be going to bed, long journey, few drams, 5 in the morning. No. Let's rule out the bed for tonight, boys, and just go straight out. So we did, and by about 10 in the morning, you can imagine the state of a lot of us. We decided it was a good idea to go and hire mopeds. So we rocked up to the moped hire centre, and the guy said, "Have you been drinking?"
No.
Okay. He didn't even question it. I don't know how, because we must have been howling.
The cans like that.
I just fall about like this normally. And so we filled in the paperwork, or we tried to, and I remember to this day not being able to sign my name, because that's how much booze we had. And over he handed the keys, no problem. There's your bike out there, pal. Next minute we're roaring down the street, top speed down to the beach, and then we came back later on at night and we'd parked the bikes just beside the pool that we were at. So I had to go and get something, I can't remember what it was, more sun cream. I went to go and get on the moped to go back to the hotel, and in my flip-flops and shorts, caught loose gravel and spun the moped round, and I ended up doing a donut, or the bike did a donut, taking me with it. I had cuts all down my right arm, all down my right leg, and on the flip-flop, every toe had a nick. Absolutely streaming blood. So, right, I need to go and cleaned up. Went at this first bar to get cleaned up. They're like, no, you get out of here. Covered in blood, must have thought I was fighting or whatever. 3 bars refused me. At which point there's more blood spewing everywhere. Eventually I got into this toilet and got myself cleaned up. But aye. So I have been to Crete, and I'm probably going to go back to Malia. And in fact, I tell you who's going to be there as well at the same time for 2 days. None other than James Story of the Kings Mills Hotel Group.
All right.
So there could be a bit of crack on the Monday and Tuesday. The wives don't know this yet. So holiday time soon. Break the Chains is coming up, lads. Break the Chains is the new album which we talked about in the last podcast. So another shameless plug. It's out on the 20th of September, which is a Friday, and we're looking forward to touring it, because there's going to be an album tour off the back of it, which will bring us on to festival season next year. And obviously there's quite a few wee festivals that have sprung up, and they're maybe not so wee anymore. What about Belladrum selling out in like 2 weeks?
I think it's just because it's the first year this year that they've had like probably the biggest acts in Britain just now. You know,
but that was lucky, wasn't it?
well, I suppose Jess Glynn wasn't. I mean, not my cup of tea, right enough, but it's still a massive act. I suppose Lewis Capaldi, yes. But because of that, they're seeing, they're getting the biggest acts in Britain just now. If we don't get a ticket for it, it gets sold out every year, I think, for the last God knows how long. But I think everybody's just worried. It's almost like panic buying, isn't it? You know, when the snow starts coming down, I better go and get 5 loaves of bread.
Yeah, I know, but I think
as well. Sorry, just to jump in as well.
You just jump in, Paul.
Everyone's just come off a brilliant Belladrum. The weather's great, and they've got this amazing payment plan. Everyone, it makes perfect sense. You know, they don't even know the lineup, but they know they're going to go there, have a good time. Hope the weather's good. But I think Belladrum planned it perfectly, absolutely perfectly. Yeah. And now they can go ahead. They've probably started booking bands next year, but they know that they can sell this festival to top quality artists. You know, we've got a festival sold out a year in advance.
Yeah,
come and play it.
Exactly. I know. I think another thing is the fact that they've moved it, because see the amount of people that actually just can't go because they're working at the Blackout show, they're working at the Moy Games. They just can't do it. And now that there's we can go now, bang, they're getting tickets straight away. So there'll be a lot of new faces, I would say.
Well, all they need to do now is just put us on as headliners.
Well, exactly.
The crowd will go wild.
Just don't put Pete and Diesel up against us. Or not.
Did I tell you about the time that I tried to type that to you?
What's that?
I tried to type Pete and Diesel in a message to you, and auto-corrected it to Pest and Deirdre.
Yes, the new name for Pete and Diesel. You text Uli that one. The new name of Pete and Diesel. Pest and Deirdre.
They're good lads, Pete and Diesel, aren't they? They are good lads.
I don't know if you saw Liam Christie put up a photo of himself and James Martin. They were through an Elgin bid, and James is a really good singer, by the way. Have you heard him sing?
No.
Oh, unbelievable. Anyway, Liam puts up a post. Meat and Measle, right? A play on Pete and Diesel, new boy band, right? Did you see my response? I couldn't help myself. I said creep and weasel. Absolutely perfect, man. So festivals in Scotland, then there's loads, and we've been very lucky to have played 3 or 4 of them this year, with one more coming live at Troon later on in September. Really looking forward to that. What's been your favourite, pal?
Other than Belladrum, I really enjoyed Killen. I really enjoyed that. That's a place that we hadn't been to before. You know, no idea how we're going to go down, but I think it's fair to say we blew the roof off the place, and we got a great response. So I love that. You know, turn up somewhere never been before, and you know, no one knows you, and you know, coming away with, well, we felt great. The crowd really enjoyed it, and hard act to follow, I think, for the next act.
Well, most of us came away. Somebody stayed on the last, didn't they?
Yes, I did. And managed to find a house party too.
Yes. Also got to say as well, playing the inaugural gathering was pretty good.
That was quality, wasn't it?
My performance aside, I don't think it was our best gig, but I think being involved in that was pretty special. Like, you know?
Yeah.
And that's going to grow as well.
That will grow arms and legs. I can see that growing into not just a one day or a weekend festival. I can see that growing into a, you know, potentially week, 2 week thing. Something similar to Celtic Connections in Glasgow.
And also probably the best backstage crack we've had this year as well.
You know. Aye.
If you can remember it.
They made a big mistake letting us have a free bar.
Boys, do you want an interview with Rock Rose? Aye, alright. Oh, how's that taste? Didn't get it the first time.
See that stuff that they had, the beer or the stout or whatever it was?
That was Speyside, aye. Speyside, aye.
It was a stout, wasn't it?
Speyside, it was a dark beer, aye.
Whatever it was, I didn't like it, but it was free, so it got tanned.
Yes.
And I think it was about... I remember Grant, he came up and spoke to me, and he says, looking a bit worse for wear, Grant, you alright? And he says, I've had 5 of those or 6 of those pints again. And I says, alright, is it heavy stuff? Like, he says, I've had a couple. And he says, well, I've been in the pee for half an hour, but I decided that I'd just sit down until that band left because I thought I was going to go through the table when I stood up.
What was it? They had drams backstage as well. What was that again? What was the dram?
That was Tomato Legacy.
It's lovely.
Beautiful drama.
Lovely.
And then from there, we went to the Ironworks. We were involved in the after party, and it was supposed to be Michael, myself, and Grant. Obviously, we were one down. I won't mention which one it was, but we were one down when we got there, and it remained that way.
So how did you, Michael, get on then?
I was at see it all, but I don't remember any of it.
I forgot all about it.
The best crack, actually, you'd have loved it. The best crack was in the dressing room in the Ironworks, where there was pretty much all the bands, plus a couple of others. Bruce McGregor and Nick Firth came across from McGregor's, and they were on stage as well. But everyone was playing and drumming together in the change room, to the point that at 4 in the morning or 10 past 4, Caroline came in and said, 10 minutes, 10-minute warning, you have to be out there, right? So she came back 10 minutes later, and every one of us was standing on like anything but the floor, playing, singing, shouting, whatever. So she pulled me aside and said, right, I'm leaving it down to you. You're going to have to get everyone out. So you left it in our 10 minutes and managed to get everyone out. That was 4:30 in the morning. So Sam session.
I never left the next day until I was sober enough. My mum's got a wee breathalyzer. I was rough as dog shit, like, but she gave me this breathalyzer at 3 in the afternoon, and it didn't even give a unit of measurement. It just flashed red and continued to flash red until 9:30 at night.
Holy crap.
9:30. So I couldn't leave for Glasgow until 9:30. Needless to say,
Beauty.
I pulled a sickie on the Monday.
I hope his boss is watching. Speaking of the Ironworks, obviously the big story just now is the hotel plans in behind it, which for that to happen, it's about to go through planning. The Ironworks will have to go, which is a huge disappointment, to not only to us as a band but to us as music fans as well. I was there just the other week watching Ocean Colour Scene. Absolutely superb night, but where else can you do that? You'd have to go to Aberdeen now, Glasgow. There's various petitions up just now about saving the Ironworks. Whether a petition will do anything, I don't know, but people need to voice their concerns because we have to keep live music in the Highlands.
Cannot lose the Ironworks. You'll remember as well, back in the day before the Ironworks, there was an occasional gig at the Raigmore, occasional gig at Blue, and other than that you're travelling down to Glasgow or Aberdeen for a gig. We've been actually quite spoilt with the Ironworks, but I think people are taking it for granted. You know, I've seen Kasabian in there. You know, that's incredible. Primal Scream, I've been up 3 times. Mumford & Sons, Paolo Nutini, Lewis Capaldi, list through Ocean Colour Scene.
Jerry Cinnamon. I was at that gig. That was unbelievable.
Van Morrison, you know,
I
Morrissey.
Yeah, but I think that it was always going to happen. I think that folk of Inverness just aren't getting off their arses and going and seeing these bands. There'll be darts things on, and for instance there's one coming up in the Ironworks. I don't know how the ticket sales are going at the moment.
That's a Legends night, isn't it?
That's
Darts
right.
Legends.
Like
When is that?
Next Friday.
Next Friday.
23rd of August, I believe.
It clashes with Madness. Is that Friday? It's Friday.
Is it? Well, you got that. I don't know how ticket sales are, but you've got like Dennis Priestley, Bob Anderson. You know, big names going to it. And if you're on the islands, we'll just say for instance Stornoway, sell out straight away.
Yeah.
Ironworks doesn't. It's slow, really slow ticket sales. I'll be surprised if that sells out, but it should sell out in minutes for me. It's what everybody wants. But people just aren't getting off their arses and going and seeing these gigs, and there's tons of these gigs that are happening, and people just aren't bothering.
Yeah.
But yet, there'll be a big, huge act, and they're queued round the block for them. It's like, well, these bands started somewhere. You know, that same band that for instance, Jerry Cinnamon.
Yeah.
They were queued round the fucking block for them, for him. But he was playing in the Cinnamons, playing the same songs, but 8-9 years previous.
Yeah.
He's always been there. He's always been good. But people decide to wait until he's massive and there's hype around about them before they go and see him.
Yeah.
It's important to mention as well. It was in the planning of that venue. It was all about helping local live bands as well. There was a big push from the people involved in it. This was going to help our local music scene, and I think somewhere along the line, there wasn't as many local band nights. People weren't coming out to see them. I actually played the opening night at the Ironworks, and it was 4 local acts that played, and it must have been near a sellout. But I don't know where the fault lies there. Is there not enough, bands coming through? Is it promoters not putting them on, or is it people not coming down to see them?
Definitely the latter. I played in an indie rock band before, and by all accounts I think we were good. But you see, to try and get support, I remember there was a friend of mine, remain nameless, a lassie, accidentally saw us, and she says, "Yous are really good. If you'd told me that the lead singer's that good looking, I'd have came and seen you before." And I felt like saying, "Arsehole, come and see us anyway, mate. Come and see what we're like. Come and support your local bands." But instead, she'll be buying a ticket for the Foo Fighters tonight. Foo Fighters don't need our fucking money, by all means, go and see these big bands, but all these big bands started off somewhere. Go and see the wee bands in the wee venues too.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to get closures up and down the country.
And it's another interesting point actually. Belgium sold out in a week. People have bought tickets for that before even knowing the lineup, and we're talking about the Ironworks struggling. That's quite an interesting point as well.
No. And 80%, maybe more, of the lineup at Belgium will be local bands.
Belgium are great actually
Belgium's fantastic
with having
for
local acts.
Yeah.
And they've not lost that over the years, which is great.
It goes back to what we were talking about earlier on, spending money local, staying local, and that's what's kept it true. Their culture of involving local bands, local caterers, everything local, but also keeping it kid friendly and making sure there's plenty on for families.
It's great for the local.
That has to stay, that culture as well.
But even on a personal point of view, over the years that we've been at the festival, they've given us the opportunity to play and be backstage with some of the biggest acts in, certainly Britain. And Guy Garvey was speaking to us backstage.
Yeah, I know. It was great.
I bought I think Seldom Seen Kid by Elbow years ago. One of my favourite tunes, Grounds for Divorce, because of the opportunity that Belladrum gave us. I got to have a wee chat with him.
Yeah.
So
And you like my shirt? Fair play to him.
no, he didn't.
My favourite was Fran Healy. Do you remember speaking to him?
Apparently he was brilliant.
We had the gold suits on.
Aye,
Do you remember that?
yeah,
It was one of
yeah.
our first years. What a crack he was, actually. Really good, and for a band that size, you see a lot of them when they're in lockdown backstage. You can't get near them because the promoters or managers are no. But Travis were just a different kettle of fish altogether.
Yeah, he was a good lad,
Really good crack.
I have heard, by the way, whispers of a couple of new venues popping up in Inverness, but they're going to be a lot smaller than the Ironworks if this goes ahead, and it's not going to attract the level of bands that we've seen for years.
No, but it might bridge a gap. I mean, what I do know is that the Ironworks will have to be rehoused as a business, right? Because it's a lease for the building just now, so that business has to be rehoused if they're going to knock it down. And remember, when it was built for failure, because it was built with a structure that could be turned into flats.
I didn't know
right
that.
at the start, and they were proved wrong by the success of it.
There was talk of it closing a good 5-6 years ago as well, maybe longer. So
Some of the acts in the first few years, like that, you spoke about Kasabian, that same weekend, Primal Scream were on.
Yep. There was a heap of bands. Was it the Buzzcocks as well?
I'm not sure.
There was a couple of bands. They're all going up to Skyfest.
That's right. Yeah.
Skyfest, that's another festival that's kicked off again, but it's a different place, totally different festival altogether. When you look at the festivals on the islands, they're popping up everywhere now, aren't they?
Well, see, do you remember playing at Tyree?
I do, aye.
We played at the first ever Tyree festival. We must have been shit because I haven't asked us back. It was years and years ago. And Cammy was the lead singer at the time.
That's right, aye.
And
well, I know what you're coming out with here.
there was just a bit of a lull, and you felt the need to come over the mic and just say something to bridge that gap. And you said, I came out of the toilet today and I saw Cammy was ironing his shirt. I thought it was a fucking bed sheet. And Cammy turned around and looked at you like that. And you immediately went, I'm really sorry.
I know. It just one of those moments when it just came out. When there is a lull and you just have to fill it with something, it was maybe the wrong thing to fill it. But what crack we had written up over that. I remember the whole band, just as I scanned the whole band, everyone was wetting themselves apart from Cammy.
I was going to mention that our sound guy Mark was at Lorient Festival.
Yeah. He's just back on Sunday there.
Yeah, and I believe you were calling him Pepe Le Pew.
No.
Is that right?
No. Ian George calls me Pepe Le Pew because
Pepe
of
Le
this.
Pew.
Pepe Le Pew because of the silver streak in the hair.
Well, all I've written down
which is real.
I've written down my pad here that Mark is Pepe Le Puny. He said that, I don't know why.
Well, we're seeing him tonight, so there'll be no doubt stories of l'escargot. Is that the French dish? Frog's legs and snails and whatever else.
Not my cup of tea. No.
So we'll look forward to seeing how many birds were after him as well over the week in Lorient. It was a busy wee bee actually. I was speaking to him on the phone, and by all accounts it's a quality festival. Although it's strange, I believe to be there that you have to have some sort of a percentage of your music has to be Gaelic or that related. And I remember watching Tidelines actually, and I couldn't understand why he was singing so much Gaelic. Now I know, but unless that's if you're going with a Fish hat on, because there's a lot of Fish raw stuff over there. So we'll find out more from Mark tonight. But good to have him back in the ranks.
We've got our intro music, that counts.
Absolutely, yeah. It's no 60% of our set right now.
Stick it on a few times in between songs.
Just keep it playing. Keep Michael wailing it all day.
Yeah.
That's probably just about time, actually, gentlemen. We need to get going. Just before we go, we're wanting to ask any special. We have got a couple of special guests coming up. We won't name them at the moment. It'll be a surprise. But if there's anyone out there wanting to hear us or see us on here with any particular special guests anywhere in Scotland, let us know. Drop us an email at info@torridonlive.com and we will do our best to get them along and get a bit of crack and some stories from them.
As well, I've put down here music recommendations.
Yeah.
First off, best band name I've ever heard, Depeche Chode. I've never heard their music, but it's worth listening to just for that name. The second thing, Tumbling Souls, Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
Yeah.
That song by the Tumbling Souls is brilliant and a pain in the arse at the same time. It came on my playlist on the way up the road today, and it won't be out of my head now for around about a week.
It's actually not even my favourite song on the album now. Track 3, Knowing Where You've Come From, is my
I'm with you on
favourite
that.
album.
That's mine. Yeah. And I tell you, it was and I've told Willie this. It was a track that I used to skip, right? Just because of the start. But then I saw them at Belgium do it. I won't be skipping that track anymore.
Yeah.
Quality, yeah, quality.
Class.
Great band from the Western Isles, the Tumbling Souls. What musicians are coming out of that place is unbelievable.
I hope they're back down again soon, actually.
Aye, there we are then. Band of the week, the Tumbling Souls. You've been listening to Off Key with the Torridon Boys, Kenny Lyall, Paul Elliott, and myself, Kenny Smith. We'll see you next time. Over and out from the boys. Cheers.
Bye bye.